the professor, Kristen Gilliland.
Thank you so much. You know, the message is very important to get out. So I'm grateful from the States. So being here in Finland, I made a film titled Speaking Through Me that it follows. I lost my son to an accidental drug overdose after he developed cannabis-induced schizophrenia. Recently, with the increased potency or strength of cannabis, we're seeing more and more cases schizophrenia or psychosis that is possibly triggered, we think, by high potency cannabis use and also frequent use.
Hello everyone, this is a new episode of the Latin Point of View podcast, and today we are at the professor Kristen Gilliland, which is here in the Happy Film Festival, which we are participating this time, and that's why we are in this new environment, new set, and surrounded about a lot of talented people here. So it's amazing. It has been an amazing day, and we are continuing this series of podcasts here with the Happy Film Festival. And today, Professor Kristen, I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I saw your speech in the main stage, and it's truly inspiring.
Thank you so much. You know, the message is very important to get out across the world. So I'm grateful from the States. So being here in Finland too, and now with you and the Latin Point of View is wonderful.
We are here. We are creating this podcast actually because we want to integrate the Latin community and the Hispanic people into the Finnish society, and these messages, these powerful messages, as you're telling us in the big stage, it's amazing to put it also here because people need to know these kind of things. And tell me a little bit about that, to go in depth about what you did here today. So tell us about that, please.
Yes, I would love to. So one, I made a film titled Speaking Through Me that it follows. I lost my son to an accidental drug overdose after he developed cannabis-induced schizophrenia. And recently, with the increased potency or strength of cannabis, we're seeing more and more cases of schizophrenia or psychosis that is possibly triggered, we think, by cannabis use, and particularly high potency cannabis use and also frequent use. And so that's what my presentation today was trying to educate people to understand what is considered high potency cannabis and the impact it has particularly on the developing brain. So, you know, after 25, the brain is mostly developed, and your risk of psychosis goes down immensely after 25. But
before that,
yes,
it's a great risk.
A great risk, and particularly the risks are a genetic predisposition. So if someone in your family might have schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, if you use frequently, how much you're using, and earlier first use. So if you start very young, your brain is much less developed, and so it has a devastating impact on the brain, and just how long someone has been using it. And so just to educate children to understand, and parents, that during adolescence it is crucial that they teach them these lessons, and that it's not as safe as everybody believes it is to be.
He tried to commit suicide. He would end up in the psychiatric ward.
I've been dealing with depression, anxiety, paranoia.
I have struggled with anorexia and bulimia for 10 or 11 years now.
I'm in recovery from heroin.
We had spoken, and I knew that he wanted to get clean. He told me several times he just couldn't. He was a slave to that stuff.
What is this cannabis-induced psychosis? Essentially, it's a condition where after using cannabis, men and women develop a state of psychosis, which is defined as not experiencing reality as we know it.
Addiction changes your brain chemistry and the way your brain functions.
I didn't start it knowing I would be selling my body for the next hit.
Looking for hope. Hope is sold, hope is found, but hope is really cultivated in the moments that you have with yourself.
Neuroplasticity is the ability to reorganize the connections in your brain.
The changes that have disrupted your mind's ability to function and your brain functioning are now very clear.
There are several ways to practice mindfulness. Find a quiet space
inhale through your nose and give a long exhale through your mouth.
You deserve to be happy. You deserve to live a long and full life.
I love who I am today. There is a way out of it. You don't have to hit your bottom. You can stop digging today.
People doesn't mention too much these kind of things, like the development of the brain at the early age, and you're abusing the drugs, and it causes these kind of problems, and also can cause that you said like it's with the next generation also can have some of it, right?
Correct.
So that's very hard topic, let's say, and in Latin America we have a lot of drug abuse problems. If I talk about my country, for example, we are like in a very bad situation with these cartels that they're running around, and they're creating this violence around the country and many of those countries in Latin America too. And the drug abuse is a big problem with kids.
Yes.
Which they basically fill it with drugs since early age, and they develop this let's say, I call like evilness, because they're becoming the worst criminals when they grow up. So,
and I think that if we could educate children on how their brain develops and really how to form healthy connections, particularly to not find a need to escape through drugs, violence, self-harm, all of those issues that are taking the lives of so many of our children, and really teaching them how you can make connections in your brain to truly become who and how you want to be as an adult. And I guarantee you that no child ever grows up to say, I want to be a criminal when I grow up, or I want to be violent, or I want to be addicted to drugs when I grow up. And so really trying to teach and educate, I think, is the key.
That's the key. You said, and actually we had also one of our interviewers here today, and he said also that the future is in the young people, and they are investing in countries like here, for example, in Finland. They are investing every single penny in the youth education, which is amazing. I will hope that Latin America, for example, take that model and go in that path. And I would love that you also go there and really put this in the system. That would be amazing, because people need to know about these details, like that if you abuse of drugs at the early age, will cause really, really big problems in health and also in the family at all, right?
Yes, definitely. And you can sign me up. I'd be happy to come over.
That will be awesome. Awesome
Yes.
to have you there in our country. Well, I talk about Ecuador, but I'm pretty sure that in many countries this information it's gold, pure gold for us. And well, how you have been living here in Finland for a long time?
Actually, no, I'm from the United States, so this is my first time in Finland.
Oh my God!
Yes.
So you just came for the? Oh my
I
God,
did.
that's great.
So,
that's so great. So you have been living your entire life in America?
Yeah, born and raised
States.
in California, and then now I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice, amazing.
I know, you got to come to Nashville.
No, I would love to. I haven't been visited not many cities in states. I've been in New York, and of course surroundings, but that's it. I would love to go to California. I got family there actually, so it will be amazing to visit. Yeah. I didn't have the chance yet, but soon.
Let me know.
Later. I'm pretty sure that we have the contact right now, and of course we will put this podcast out, this series of podcasts right here in the Happy Festival. It will be amazing, and I hope this message also get to the right people at the right ears. But talking about the Latin America, have you heard about the situation there, about the drugs and all the abuse and the kids?
Yes. Yes.
What will be your advice to the, let's say, the government or the educational institutes that they can apply this model or just try to do it better, because they are not doing a great work?
You know, I even in the States, we're having this issue because there's so much money behind the cannabis industry. It's very difficult because I would love to regulate the percent content.
But there is no restrictions. I mean, it has to be like 18 plus.
Oh, yes. There
right?
is, 21, actually 21 plus.
21. Oh.
But they find ways to,
Oh,
kids,
really?
kids find ways to get it for sure. And
Yeah.
sometimes from the illicit market. So actually
the
street
black market, let's
yes,
say.
exactly.
Street market, yeah.
Exactly. And that's when it's even more dangerous because sometimes it's laced with fentanyl. So the
and zombie drug they call, right?
no, that's actually xylazine. So
Oh.
fentanyl is the one that it's a synthetic opioid, so it's more potent than heroin, and like almost 50 times more potent than heroin. And so they don't know it. It's literally the tip of a pencil tip
Oh my God.
that
And
can
it
kill
caused
somebody.
Oh, really?
And it causes respiratory depression, and so basically their breathing stops.
I heard a lot about that, and I heard that it causing a lot of problems in the United States society. It's awful, the situation in the streets.
Yes, and xylazine, like you said, the zombie drug, that is that's fine, and it's just because they're so cheap to make, fentanyl and xylazine. It's very easy to make and very cheap, and they can get supplies from other places, and then it's easy to bring it to other places, the States or.
I understand. Guys, quick note. This sound that you're hearing is another presentation here. We are like in the middle of the Heavy Festival having a conversation with this amazing professor. I said like I'm in the school. This professor, and that's why you're hearing this sound, and it's mixed with everything. But I'm pretty sure that we have a clear audio.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that this message is getting to the right ears.
Wonderful.
So, tell me a little bit about that, how we can change this, how we can avoid these kind of problems.
I think that we need to have public service announcements. We need somehow to, one, regulate the percent content of THC that is within for cannabis or marijuana.
Yeah.
So a high potency is considered right now anything above 10% THC that's within a product. And as far as the other drugs, is really just getting a public service announcement for kids to never use anything that is not given by a pharmacist. Their own pharmacist.
Yes.
Don't ever, even a friend. There's so many stories I know of people who go to a party and they get a pill from a friend, and they think it's their friend, and it is their friend, but their friend got it from somewhere else, and it's lights out,
It is.
So we need to educate the kids. We need them to understand what's out there, what is safe, and to teach kids too, if they were to use a drug, to understand the limits of their body is so young and their brain is developing, and to understand what these higher potency or higher strength chemicals can do to their brain.
I think people should know this, and every school should.
Yes, every school should.
Yeah.
It should be in education, and it should
In
start
every
out.
system.
The average age of when kids start using is 13.
Oh my God.
Yes,
It's too early.
so we need to start at about 10 years old.
What do you have to say to them, like as an advice? Let's say because there's younger mothers, that they have the kids, and probably because the resources they don't have the proper education. What should be the advice from mother to mother?
Oh, that's really good. Well, one thing I should say is that to keep an eye on your children and look for signs of any type of drug use, and usually it's isolation, kids that don't find interest in things they used to do, hiding a lot of things. Definitely, I mean, with cannabis, it's usually you can smell. But also there's so many edible forms of it that they can eat, and so
they don't have any smell, let's say, to notice.
So I really think that you do want to keep watch and see what your children are bringing home. Know their friends, know who their friends are, and if their friends change suddenly, sometimes that's a red flag.
Okay, that's a great advice. Thank you, really, Kristen, for being here. and I am happy to have this conversation with you since I saw you in the main stage. And well, yeah, give me that 5.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all for being here and be supportive with this podcast. I love you all, and of course, this is a great message. Take note, because this is a thing and it's happening all over the world. So take on mind, and see you soon in the next episode.
Adios.
Ciao. Thanks.